Chicago Transit Authority, also known as CTA, is the operator of mass transit in Chicago, Illinois and some of its surrounding suburbs, including the trains of the Chicago L and CTA bus service. The CTA is an Illinois independent governmental agency that started operations on October 1, 1947 upon the purchase and combination of the transportation assets of the Chicago Rapid Transit Company and the Chicago Surface Lines streetcar system. In 1952, CTA purchased the assets of the Chicago Motor Coach Company, which was under the control of Yellow Cab Company founder John D.Hertz, resulting in a fully unified system. Today, the CTA is one of the three service boards financially supported by the Regional Transportation Authority. Operations. The Chicago Transit Authority provides service to Chicago and 40 surrounding suburbs. The CTA provided a total of 532 million rides in 2011, a 3% increase over 2010, with ridership rising to levels not seen for 20 years. CTA operates 24 hours each day and on an average weekday provides 1.7 million rides on buses and trains. It has approximately 1,800 buses that operate over 140 routes, traveling along 2,230 route miles. Buses provide about 1 million passenger trips a day and serve more than 12,000 posted bus stops. The Chicago Transit Authority's 1,450 train cars operate over 8 routes and 222 miles of track. Its trains provide about 750,000 customer trips each weekday and serve 144 stations in Chicago. Currently, the CTA operates within Chicago and immediate suburbs: Forest Park, Evanston, Skokie, Oak Park, Summit, Cicero, Berwyn, North Riverside, and Rosemont. Fare collection. The CTA allows riders to board a bus and pay with cash or the VentriCard. As for trains, riders are allowed to pay with a VentriCard, a Ventri ticket, or a contactless credited debit card. Cash-only buses allow riders to pay with cash. The fare is $2.25, and no cash transfers are available. Previously, some rail station turnstiles accepted cash, but this feature has been removed in an effort to speed up boarding, except during sporting events at nearby L stations, such as the Red Line L station at Addison and the station for the same line at Sox 35th. No fare is paid for kids with a fare-paying rider, with a 3-kid limit. Transit cards. The CTA no longer sells transit cards. All remaining transit cards must have been used by July 1, 2014. In its place, CTA has adopted the VentriCard system. The VentriCard can be purchased online at any VentriCard machine at CTA stations, or at authorized retailers. Ventra is an electronic fare payment system for the Chicago Transit Authority and PACE that replaced the Chicago Card and the Transit Card. Automated fare collection system. Ventra launched in August 2013, with a full system transition slated for July 1, 2014. The Ventra payment system includes several options of payment, including a contactless smart card powered by RFID, a single day-used ticket powered by RFID, any personal bank-issued credit card, a debit card that has an RFID chip, and a compatible mobile phone. Ventra is operated by Cubic Transportation Systems. Connections. CTA TV show. The Chicago Transit Authority produces a monthly television show, P Connections. The show is broadcast on City of Chicago Public Access Television cable TV channels 23 and AMP 49, as well as on Comcast CN 100 in the Chicago media market, including areas of Michigan and Indiana. Connections features news and information about the CTA and services it provides. The program can be watched online at. Individual segments from Connections are available on the CTA Connections YouTube channel. Equipment. As mandated by the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 for all transit operators in the U.S., all CTA buses are handicap accessible, and the ramp on every bus is available for use upon request by anyone who has trouble with steps, even temporarily. The majority of train stations CTA operates have elevators or ramps to provide access for customers with disabilities. All trains include accessible rail cars. CTA provides the means to view alerts regarding elevator status at the CTA's Elevator Status Alerts page or by calling an elevator status hotline at 1-888-YOUR-CTA. Accessibility alert notifications also appear by default in CTA Train Tracker, a station arrival prediction tool appearing on its website. History. Until 1973, CTA's fleet included a large number of electric trolley buses, or trolley coaches, as they were commonly known at the time. In the 1950s, the fleet of around 700 trolley coaches was the largest such fleet in the U.S. and represented about 1/4 of CTA's total number of surface transit vehicles. Trolley bus service was phased out in the late 1960s and early 1970s, and trolley buses ran for the last time on March 25, 1973. CTA buses were known as the Green Limousine, or the Big Green. Buses were one or more shades of green from the CTA's establishment through the end of the 1980s. With the delivery of the TMCRTS buses in 1991, a more patriotic color scheme was adopted, and the green scheme was fully phased out by 1996. A notable color scheme was the bicentennial of about 1974 to 1976. CTA bought very few buses between the mid-1970s and the end of the 1980s. During this time, purchases were only made in 1979, 1982, 83, and 1985. Another aspect of this period was that with the exception of the 1979 and 1983 man orders, none of those buses had air conditioning, a budget-saving move by the CTA. The 1972-76 fleet of GM New-Look buses, 1870 total, which were originally air-conditioned, composed the majority of vehicles in service into the early 1990s. Today, CTA's current fleet of buses is mostly dominated by New Flyers D40LF, which replaced buses that were built in 1991 and 1995. The rail orders of the CTA include the last railcar stock built by the Budd Company and rail cars built by Boeing Vertol and Morrison Knudsen. The most recently filled order was from Bombardier. In 2014, the CTA received the first electric buses from New Flyer, making the CTA the first major U.S. transit agency to use electric buses as part of a regular service. Active bus fleet notes *= 4 buses retired from original 2000 to 2002 order. Source: Chicago Transit Authority. Presentation on Alternative Fuels, April 20, 2009, p. 4. Unless otherwise indicated, some individual numbers may no longer be in service. See Chicago Transit and Railfan for historic rosters. Bus Garages Forest Glen Garage, 5419 W. Armstrong Avenue. North Park Garage, 3112 W. Foster Avenue. Chicago Garage, 642 N. Pulaski Road. Kedzie Garage, 358 S. Kedzie Avenue. 74th Garage, 1815 W. 74th Street. 77th Garage, 210 W. 79th Street. 103rd Garage, 1702 E. 103rd Street. active L rolling stock. 10 prototypes of the 5000 series were received in 2009, and entered passenger testing in April 2010, with 396 more ordered once the tests were completed. On July 20, 2011, CTA announced the order of 300 more railcars, bringing the total ordered to 706 at a cost of about $1 billion. For a description of the L cars, see Chicago L rolling stock. See Chicago.org for car assignment sheets. CTA radio operations, security and safety. After the September 11 attacks, CTA announced its "If You See Something, Say Something" campaign. CTA has also installed a security camera network, and a system to send real-time images from cameras in buses directly to emergency responders. CTA has also been actively prosecuting vandals, announcing on several occasions that felony convictions were obtained against persons who spray-painted authority vehicles. See also Chicago L concerning incidents on the rapid transit system technology. The CTA has, within the past few years, installed GPS bus tracker systems on all buses. The original claim justifying the addition of this technology was that it would reduce the issue of bunching buses. The system also allows riders to be able to determine the location of buses online. A report prepared by the CTA claims that there was a decrease in bus bunching from 3.9% to 2.3% from 2007 to 2009, but the report neither demonstrated a direct connection between bus tracker and this reduction in bunching, nor did it show whether this was a temporary or permanent phenomenon. CTA has also made its bus tracker and other developer tools available, and is making bus tracker arrival data available through text messaging. One of the first applications of the bus tracker developer tools involved the installation of monitors showing the information in several businesses in Chicago's Wicky Park neighborhood. Using the developer API published by CTA, some augmented CTA bus tracking applications have been developed for mobile phones, and CTA has its own transit app center featuring applications developed by others. CTA also has a train tracker, and it can also be accessed through a computer, smartphone, or text messaging. Public art. The CTA is home to a collection of art, including mosaics, sculptures and paintings. More than 50 pieces of art are exhibited at over 40 CTA stations. According to the CTA's website, the original pieces of artwork contribute to each station's identity and enhance travel for customers. Art promotes a friendly, inviting atmosphere for these stations, which serve as gateways to the communities they serve. Many of the pieces are a result of the Arts in Transit program, which is funded by the Federal Transit Administration and coordinated locally through the City of Chicago's Office of Tourism and Culture. A number of other pieces were created through the CTA's Adopt a Station program and through partnerships with organizations such as the Chicago Public Art Group. Arts in Transit. In 2004, the CTA and the City of Chicago Public Art Program installed 9 permanent works of art at 8 renovated rail stations on what is now known as the Pink Line. The CTA has since created an ongoing program to showcase permanent works of art in conjunction with the City of Chicago Public Art Program. The Arts in Transit program is funded by the Federal Transit Administration, and created opportunities to develop original artwork for station reconstruction projects along the CTA Red and Brown lines. Artists were selected for each of the stations included in the Brown Line Capacity Expansion Project and select renovated Red Line stations. By the completion of the Brown Line Capacity Expansion Project in 2010, original artwork was installed in each of the 18 renovated stations along the CTA's Brown Line. By combining the visibility and accessibility of the city's mass transit system with the creativity of Chicago's art resources, this program resulted in a successful public display of professional works of art designed with input from nearby communities. This program provided high-profile locations for public art and served as a gateway to communities served by the CTA stations. Media under consideration included, but were not limited to, mosaics, art glass, ornamental fencing, mixed media artwork, and freestanding sculpture and furniture. The CTA and the City of Chicago Public Art Program, administered by the Office of Tourism and Culture, encouraged and facilitated collaborations between artists, government agencies, the community, and other partners. The City of Chicago Public Art Program accepted qualifications from a local and national professional artists or artist teams capable of creating permanent public works of art for the CTA Arts in Transit program for the renovated stations. CTA promotes its public art with a video and online gallery.